Welcome to a special edition of Tech Talk with AFO. Tech Talk with AFO is my podcast, my session where I have interesting conversation around technology. And it's not just about technology. I also try to get tech actors that we can have interesting conversation and people can learn from my actors. Today, I have a special actor, Ayo Kuye. I met Ayo Kuye a couple of weeks ago and we've been quite close. I mean, you think we've known each other for quite a while. Interesting guy, amazing guy. This edition is special because I also have very interesting group of people on today's session. I have my Spark scholars. I'm sure some people will be wondering who Spark scholars are, but I'm going to tell you who Spark scholars are in a moment. But before we get to knowing who Spark scholars are, I'm going to quickly introduce Ayo to Ayo. Ayo, you've not met yourself, but I'm going to introduce you to you. Let me share my screen. This week, I'm shining the spotlight on Ayo Kuye, a remarkable individual whose journey in technology and education exemplifies excellence and determination. Ayo's story is one of hard work, resilience, and exceptional achievement, making him a perfect role model for aspiring tech enthusiasts and students alike, especially my Spark scholars. Ayo Kuye began his academic journey with a solid foundation in elementary and high school, where he excelled in both academics and extracurricular activities. As a dedicated student, Ayo balanced his studies with his passion for sport, coding, laying the ground for his future success. His commitment and drive earned him the honor of being an A honor student and valedictorian, a testament of his unwavering dedication.
Come with me to pitch my startup at Stanford University as a 21-year-old college graduate. Yeah, I know I look really tired in this video, but I just graduated from UT Austin 2 days ago, so the turnaround was really quick, but I did want to share my experience. Content creation is still new to me, but this is me getting ready. I knew I had to get off the plane and go straight to the event, so I decided to get dressed and go into the airport. Going in, I knew there was going to be a couple of notable investors, but this was also my first time pitching, so I was honestly just really grateful for the opportunity. With that being said, I still wanted to remain confident and represent my team to the best of my ability. I was one of 25 founders invited to the event, so I was really looking forward to meeting new people that are working on exciting things. I made it to the venue where I met up with my co-founder, where we pitched together and it ended up going extremely well. I can't release the footage yet, but if you would like to know more, click the link in my bio. The day after the event, my friend took me around Stanford's beautiful campus where I was able to meet some of their world-class faculty and some amazing people. I want to thank Stanford and Black NCS for the invitation. Being a Black founder and one of the youngest in attendance, this event was transformative for me. I know this is just the beginning of my journey, but I can't help to be excited.
Ayo's outstanding performance in high school paved the way for a full scholarship to study electrical and computer engineering at the prestigious University of Texas at Austin. During his time at university, Ayo not only maintained a high GPA, but also emerged as a top graduate in his class. His exceptional academics achievements, coupled with his practical skills, position him as a standout candidate in the competitive field of technology. One of the pivotal moments in Ayo's journey was his speech at Stanford, where he showcased his innovative idea and impressed industrial leaders. This experience not only validated his hard work, but also opened doors for future opportunities. Ayo's ability to communicate complex technical concepts clearly and effectively was a key factor in his success at Stanford. Building on his passion for technology and problem solving, Ayo assembled a talented team to develop the Dele app. This project highlights his leadership skills and his ability to bring together diverse talents to achieve a common goal. The Dele app stands as a testament of his innovative thinking and his commitment to leveraging technology for practical solutions. Ayo's journey culminated in an extraordinary job offer from Cisco, where he now works as a software engineer focused on AI. His expertise in artificial intelligence and coding, combined with a strong academic background and practical experience, make him an invaluable asset to the tech industry. Join me in celebrating this amazing young man, Ayo Kuye, my Tech Actor of the Week, as we recognize his incredible achievements and contribution to the field of technology. His story is an inspiration to all, demonstrating that with hard work, dedication, and a passion for learning, anything is possible. Yes, indeed, anything is possible. A round of applause for Ayo. Yes, guys, I told you that this today's conversation, which is actually the first time we're having this conversation, is an interesting one. Remember at the beginning of the session, I said people will be wondering who Spark Scholars are. Ayo, Spark Scholars are young, intelligent, smart kids that are ready to better your best. They are coming for your achievement, Ayo. Whatever you've achieved, my Spark Scholars will dwarf your achievement. I'm telling you this for a fact. These are Spark Scholars, young individuals coming together, learning together, compete together to be the best among the best, right? These are the youths that we have here today. But how can they better your best if they don't know your secret? So I remember you were asking me yesterday, you said, Afo, what do you want me to talk about today? I said, Ayo, you have to reveal your secret 100%. And that's exactly what you're going to do. Or are you going to hold anything back?
No, of course not.
Of course not. Awesome. Thank you. So Ayo, you have the floor. I'm sure you were not even expecting that type of introduction, were you?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't. It was a lovely video. You make me sound kind of good. But yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you all. Appreciate you all for coming. Hopefully I can let you know a little bit of my journey and maybe you can pick up a thing or two. But I guess I'll just go ahead and start. And of course, yeah, I want all of y'all to be better than me. It's not going to be easy, but I'm gonna give you all the keys that you need to be able to get there. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
All right.
I already got a pretty good introduction, but yes, my name is Ayo Kuye. A recent graduate from the University of Texas at Austin, where I majored in electrical and computer engineering with a minor in finance. During my time at UT Austin, it was an amazing time. I was able to meet a lot of amazing people, travel the world, work at some of the biggest technology firms in the world and different cities around the world. So it's just been a blessing, and I'm hoping that y'all can get something from today. So my early years, um, I'm from Grand Prairie, Texas. I was born in Arlington, Texas, where I attended Sally Moore Elementary School, Harmony, and Grand Prairie Collegiate for middle school. Some of my interests included basketball. I love basketball so much. My favorite basketball player was Kobe Bryant. My favorite team was the Dallas Mavericks. I also really enjoyed American football. I did get into soccer, but that was like later. I really enjoyed swimming. I played video games. I remember watching a lot of YouTube, being into technology, and then entrepreneurship because I liked money, and then coding because I started coding because I thought it'd be a cool way to play games because I played a lot of games. And then my early influences were my dad, again, Kobe Bryant, because he's the greatest basketball player to me, and Steve Jobs, who is the founder of Apple. I really enjoyed his story. Elementary school, my favorite subjects, I can remember my favorite subjects being English. I think I really liked English. I think it's because I really liked reading. So I always like really loved it. And I had a really nice teacher named Mrs. Green. She was really lovely. And then PE because I love playing sports. basketball, football, track, swimming. It didn't really matter. Line me up doing anything, I'm there. I'm a really competitive person, so PE was a place where I could really shine. But elementary school did have its challenges. I was a little bit of a troublemaker in class. I found myself having a hard time concentrating in class because I felt like I was like bored a lot and stuff, and maybe I didn't like to listen and stuff like that. This is stuff that I definitely had to fix later down the line, but I remember it being an issue for me. But I never really let it phase me. I really enjoyed learning. So, in any time I could, I love learning. And then, yes, also making people laugh. I used to love making people laugh. I like smiling a lot when I was younger. You can see in these pictures, I still love smiling now. But yeah, so going into middle school, a little bit of things changed. I stopped being as um, much of a troublemaker, stopped horse playing. I decided to calm down just a little bit though. I did have some new interests. And when I got into middle school, I started getting a lot more interested in technology. Um, I started around that time, like the iPads started coming out and stuff. So I started playing with the iPads and like looking at apps and like I always liked video games, like computer games. So I was on my computer, just interested in technology in that way. And in that sense, I was able to get into coding. And coding was really cool because my first time coding was I played a game. I was playing a game, and my friend had an idea. He was like, "Oh, we should make our own game," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know we could do that." And then we spent the whole summer trying to figure out how to create it. We didn't get very far, but I remember it was a really fun experience. I started getting really into money and entrepreneurship, creating businesses, how I can make money. Because when I was younger, even still now, I like nice things. I like being able to, and my parents weren't going to buy it for me. So if it had to do with school, okay, my parents would get it for me, okay. But if it was something like video games or shoes, I like shoes. Uh, yeah, my parents are not taking me to buy no 100 and whatever dollar shoes. So either I'm gonna have what I wear or I had to make some type of money. So that started my interest in entrepreneurship, where when as soon as like since I was in like seventh grade, I was selling candy at school, making money. I didn't really like candy that much. So I used to sell candy and honey buns. I used to make a lot of money. I used to go in my backpack until I got in trouble, and then they banned it at my school. But it was a good run. And then I also got into photography. I love taking pictures. Even to this day, I still love taking pictures, playing videos, editing. I really just enjoyed having a lot of hobbies, um, which um, which helps today because it was a foundation for me having a lot of skills today. But I still love basketball and football. Uh, Even to this day, I still like it. Obviously, when I was younger, maybe I liked it a lot more. These days, I don't have as much time for it, but I still enjoy playing it and watching it from time to time. But challenges, early in middle school, I can remember I was starting to hang out with people that maybe weren't the best for me. And not to say they were bad, like they definitely weren't bad. They were all good people. It's just when I thought about where I wanted to go in life, I always knew I wanted to make a lot of money. I always knew I wanted to achieve really great things. I wanted to go to a really good school. And when I looked at around at my friends, of course they were cool, they were funny, but like they didn't have the same goals as me. And my goals were, okay, I want to do good in school, um, because it would make my parents happy, it would make me happy, and I could end up getting to a good university. And the only reason I knew about going to good university is because I had mentors along the way that taught me that good education leads to great life opportunities later. It's not something I really knew in the beginning, but I just trusted them. So I wanted to see how that would turn out. And then I remember seventh grade. I remember I was starting to fall behind in school. I wasn't taking it serious, but because I always knew I was capable You know, my dad always used to say something. I always thought he was just talking when he would say this. He would just be like, "Oh, that person that's doing this doesn't have two heads." And I got older when I realized I'm like, wow, maybe he really didn't have two heads. Like I realized that anything that I put my mind to, I was capable of doing. Literally anything, as long as I trusted God. But on the bright side, I went to camps, I went to basketball camps, I went to coding camps in the summer. I just stayed busy. I felt like my mind was never idle. I kept learning. I always like learning new skills. I didn't like spending time doing nothing. If I could be playing with something or like learning something new or getting faster or playing basketball, it was always like a great a great outlet for me to just keep learning. Um, and a lesson that I learned in middle school was closed mouths don't get fed. And what I mean by that is I learned pretty early that you can't be scared to ask questions. I think earlier in my schooling, there's always a fear of like looking dumb in front of your classmates or like, what if I ask a stupid question? Or man, I really don't understand this. Like, why am I not understanding this? And it's really only because you're not asking enough questions. You're not
Mm,
asking enough questions because you think that the question is dumb or maybe even you're just not interested in asking questions. But trust me when I tell you, if there's something that you want to know, you're capable of learning it. All you need to do is ask more questions and be just a little bit more curious. Going into high school, um, I went to a college prep school. So pretty early, they kind of put it in our mind that we need to do well in school. We need to have extracurricular so we can get into a good college. And they kind of told us, what does getting into a good college mean? It's going to take hard work. It's not going to be easy, but it is very possible as long as you're diligent and you take time to do the things that you're supposed to do and prioritize your future and not waste your time away doing who knows what. So pretty early, I started practicing for the SAT. Um, Ninth grade, I took like the PSAT. Um, and I remember I didn't study too much. I think I studied for like maybe like 3 weeks. I didn't end up doing that good. But I remember that summer afterwards, I ended up practicing a lot more in the summer. And it ended up getting me a really good score that I was able to keep for a while. But college applications, I was really ready for. I started writing the essays early. I started getting people to review them and edit them because I remember me in high school, I used to love seeking out mentors because I knew that the people that are older than me, I mean, no matter how smart I think I am, they're a lot wiser than me. There's problems that they can see way before I see them because they've already gone through a lot of life. Maybe their delivery might be a little off, but they always want the best for me. So seeking out mentors that could edit my essays, give me feedback on my resumes was great. And by the time I got to my senior year of high school, I was able to stay focused in school. I set goals for myself. And it was pretty, I was pretty young when I realized the importance of setting goals for myself. Um, because whenever you don't set goals for yourself, you're kind of wandering aimlessly. Like, yeah, you know, you want to do good in school, you probably want to do this, but you're just, you're kind of just going off of maybe like gut feeling. But if you write it down, then you're able to see your vision, see your goals, and have something specific that you work towards. And as you achieve those goals, you can start setting higher goals for yourself, which will lead you to, wherever you want to be in life. I also made sure that I surrounded myself with really good friends. I surrounded myself with people that wanted to be really successful. And that doesn't mean in one area. Like college, in high school, I played a lot of sports. Like every single one of you in this room if you saw me in high school, I don't care what sports you play, like I'm probably gonna beat you. I was extremely competitive, and I loved having competitive friends. So I had friends that played sports. I had friends that were really good in school. I had friends that were really funny. I had friends that read a lot of books that were really creative. Um, and it was important for me to do that was because I was able to meet a lot of people, know how to talk to a lot of people, and just being really interested in people led me to understand how to talk to different types of people, which opened up opportunities later down the line. For example, while I was in high school, I was able to secure an internship at the #1 aerospace and defense company in the world. Um, I'm in high school, so it's like, really, how did I do that? There was a program, or there was a program through my school, and this company just moved to the area, and it was kind of just a shot in the dark. Um, I kind of wanted to see if they would respond and they would accept me. I sent in an application, and they emailed me back. I went there as a 16-year-old, not really knowing what I was doing there. Um, in a big office with tanks, aerospace, all aerospace stuff. Like there was like jet equipment and stuff. I was nervous, but I think I prepared, and that preparation was what ultimately led to me being able to secure a position at Lockheed Martin. I was able to get numerous scholarships, which I started early. Started applying for scholarships as soon as I got to ninth grade, or I'll say 10th grade. As soon as I got to 10th grade, started looking for scholarships to apply to that I could start making getting money to be able to go to school for a lesser amount. Um, and by the time I got to my senior year, I was notified that I would be graduating valedictorian, #1 in my class. And I was honestly shocked that I was valedictorian. I think for me, I never really tried to compete with anybody else but myself. So it was more so I always wanted to do the best I could. And as long as I did the best I could, um, I'd be fine. I never was really focused on what other people were doing because I knew they might not be on the same path as me. And honestly, it's really not that important what other people are doing. All I needed to know was like where I was and what I was doing and where and how I could get to achieving my goals. I stayed focused on myself, and I ended up graduating first in my class. And I want to give all the God the glory for that. I was able to win numerous scholarships for being valedictorian, scholarships outside of school, and I was able to go to college completely paid for. Um, and while I was in high school, um, while I was in high school, I was really involved in church. I played sports. I played basketball. I played football. I played for my like school teams. My school didn't have a team, but I was able to play at schools in different districts. But sports for me was really at the back of it was always God first, and then my education, and then sports. Because I knew pretty early on, looking around at the people around me, um, obviously, when you're younger, like I did, I looked up to Kobe Bryant, an athlete, but I've always been a really practical person, and of course, I love playing sports. I still love playing sports now. Like, I was playing basketball like 3 hours ago, but I knew like in high school that it's not everyone that's gonna make money in sports. And maybe it's not you, it's just a lot of things have to go your way. But a lot of things cannot go your way. Like you could get injured. Um, you're maybe just not good enough. And that's all really possible. And because I did want to make money, that was one thing that I did love entrepreneurship. I was like, let me take this route because I feel like it's the chances are a lot better that I can make a lot of money. And I also still enjoy this. This is something that I still enjoy, and I can still play sports. Like I can still play sports anytime I want, and that's what I did. So also in high school, I joined boxing club, coding club. I still play video games. Played a lot of 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, um, Fortnite, um, some single player games, but not too much. And then also love drawing and painting. I got into reading a little later, um, but yeah. And then my college journey. So yes, I went to University of Texas at Austin. So why did I choose the University of Texas at Austin? Um, I kind of always knew I wanted to do, not always, but I did choose computer engineering for my major. I believe it was the best thing for me. I was interested in computers. Um, I liked math. I liked coding. I won't say I like math too much, but I like computer engineering more than anything else. So I went there and I knew that it would fetch me money after I graduated. Yeah, there's these other degrees that look nice, that sound nice, that sound fun. By the end of the day, I went for the thing that could fetch me money, especially if I'm going to school and I'm paying money for school. I might as well get a return on my investment after I graduate. So computer engineering was the one I chose, or the one that I felt was the best for me. And honestly, how did I know? I Googled the top paying jobs, and they mostly had to, if they weren't in the medical field, they would probably had to do with the technology field. What major do I need to get those jobs? Okay, here, electrical and computer engineering. That's how I landed there. So just some stats on University of Texas at Austin. It's the number one school in Texas. It's the number five computer engineering program in the United States. It's the number eight engineering program in the US. And another thing that was really important for me was I wanted to go to a school that had a good sports program. Again, I love sports. So I wanted to go to sports games. We have like every year our basketball team is top ranked, football team, swimming, women's soccer, women's basketball, women's volleyball, every sport. So it was just really fun to go to the sports games with my friends. And then Austin is a big city. I wanted to go to a big city so I can meet a lot of different types of people, um, see a lot of different cultures, see a lot of different new things. I was just really excited to just experience a lot of new things. Um, and yeah, I knew it would be a lot of fun, so I chose it. So while I was in college, I was a part of a lot of organizations, different clubs and things like that, supporting my friends that started their own clubs. But mainly I was a part of African Student Organization and the National Society of Black Engineers. And while I was in college, did numerous things, took a lot of great classes, learned from a lot of great professors. But the one thing I could say when I got to my senior year, I had an idea for an app. So the app idea I had was called Dele. So Dele is a fun way to learn African languages on your phone. So we found a problem and we decided to create a solution for it. So what's the problem that we found? We found that there was not a lot of good ways to learn Yoruba online. So I'm Nigerian. A lot of you, I think everyone might be Nigerian, but um, my native language, Yoruba, I wasn't able to learn it and understand it too well when I was growing up. And I knew other people would have the same problem as me. So I decided to create a solution for that problem in Dele. And yeah. And so what is the solution that we created? So it's an app on your phone where you can learn in small lessons that are fun and gamified how to say different words and phrases in any African language you want. And we wanted to, obviously, we wanted to solve a real problem with this app, but, you know, obviously, if I'm creating something, had to be some type of monetary benefit. So we chose an app because we were able to make money off the app. People download the app and they buy things on the app, which can generate us money over time. And it's just fun. Like, I think creating things is fun. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. And it's going to be available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. While I've been working on the app, I've been able to join Microsoft for Startups, which is a prestigious program for startups to be able to get different benefits and mentorship from Microsoft, which is one of the biggest companies in the entire world. I was able to pitch at Stanford University, which was a great experience, and talk to some of the richest investors in the world. And I mean, portfolios of billions of dollars. And it was a great experience. I was also the youngest person there. And I wasn't really nervous. I was just there because I think going in, I just wanted to learn a lot and soak in as much as possible. I wasn't really expecting much, but I gained so much. So I'm really thankful and blessed to have been a part of that. Yeah, and now I'm a recent graduate from University of Texas at Austin. Feels great, like a load lifted off my shoulders, because I do plan on going back to school, but I didn't want to go back to school yet. I kind of wanted to just make some money first and like try to create my own company. So it's a fixed six-figure job in San Francisco, California. So I'll be moving to California in like 2 weeks to start my job at one of the biggest tech firms in the United States. I'm going to be moving with two of my friends that I grew up with that were also like-minded, and we're all able to get really good jobs in San Francisco, making six figures. And now on the side, we're creating our own apps to be able to create more streams of income so that we can reach financial freedom. And
wow. Yeah. Wow. A round of applause for Ayo, guys. Can we appreciate Ayo? I mean, I'm sure you've been taking notes. If you haven't, I've been taking notes. Ayo, from a very young age, has been entrepreneurial minded. Ayo has been a businessman from a very young age. I mean, that for me makes a lot of sense. He was selling, bonds in school. Very interesting. Ayo also knew that early enough, he should what? Set goals clear with what you want to do. It is natural as young lad to make mistakes, to make some wrong choices. But there was something Ayo said. I don't know how many of you listened to that. Ayo said, before anything, God comes first. He said God comes first, education second, and sport comes third. I took that note down, right? Now, Ayo said he also had to change some friends at some point, particularly in middle school. And it wasn't because it wasn't that he doesn't like those friends, but he just realized that they don't have the same type of focus. Their goals are not aligned. And remember, Ayo concluded by saying that he's moving to California with some friends, which meant that when Ayo changed friends, he looked for friends of like minds. And these friends that he's going to San Francisco with also have, job offer in 6 figures. They all have job offer. They are all working on different ideas, and they are moving to San Francisco together. I'm sure in Bible school, for some of us, they've told us, and for some of us, they've also told us in Quranic class that show me your friends, I'll tell you the kind of person who you are. Ayo early enough knew that he should make the right choices on who his friends will be. There was something Ayo said again, very important. He said the best advice comes from his parents. How many of you listen to that? He said, I'm always quick to turn to my dad to get advice. He mentioned that. right? He said something that his daddy would always say is that those other guys that are doing better in school, they don't have two heads. Then he said it took him a while to process that hello, come to think of it, they don't truly have two heads. If they can do it, I also can do it. Then he said something that most of us have issues with. You know, when they call us up to come and talk, we have butterfly in our stomach. We are always scared to ask questions, right, Ayo? You were also like that. And I used to tell my boys also on this platform, the max anybody will tell you is you ask a silly question. Nobody's going to beat you for the question you ask. Ask question. Ayo said it's most likely that you are not asking enough question. Don't be scared to ask question. I've been taking notes. I don't know if you guys are taking notes. Ayo also said he had mentors, right? He was quick enough to understand that mentorship is important. Ayo, one of the things I took down, very important for my Spark scholars, is also, having mentorship to what we are doing. We don't want any of our Spark scholars to make wrong choices, right? Think about it. Ayo, you just graduated and you're graduating and you almost immediately got a job. 6 figures. Excuse me. That's a big deal. How old are you, Ayo? We forgot to talk about that. How old are you?
21.
Oh my God. Ayo at 21 is making 6 figures. Guys, can you believe that? You know how many 50 year, 60 years, 40 years old folks on the street of New York, on the street of Dallas that are not even making close to what Ayo is making? You see what happens when you make the right choices. And Ayo didn't even stop at that. There's something he also said. Ayo finished and got a full scholarship. And you started applying for scholarship from what grade? 10th grade? 10th grade, right? Guys, if you've been writing down Ayo's secret, I've been writing down his secret. I don't know about you guys. So if you have questions for Ayo, I need you guys to raise up your hand. I'll call you one after the other. And when I do so, you would unmute yourself. Again, we need decorum. Remember, Ayo said we must learn how to ask questions, right? So I'm interested in question. No question is stupid.
All right. My first question is, how did you know when to start looking for colleges? How did you know when to start looking for colleges to offer you a scholarship? What was your biggest motivation?
Thank you for the question, Khaled. Great question. So, I think thankfully the high school I went to, they kind of put it in our heads that the idea of going to college pretty early. So I think from 10th grade, from ninth grade, they started asking us, okay, what do you think you're interested in? What field do you think you're interested in? And once you know what field you're interested in, then you start to go and look, okay, based off what I'm interested in, what universities and schools offer the best programs for that interest. And because I was interested in computer engineering, I looked up the schools with the best engineering programs, and I found that UT Austin, among other ones, were really good. And from there, I made a list. I made a list of potential schools really early. So UT Austin was on that list. You schools in California were on that list, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. And I kind of just started following pretty much what do students that go to those schools, what do they look like, and what have they done? And from there, I just started preparing myself and doing what I could to make myself look as competitive as possible. My biggest motivation, I have a good answer. I have a bad answer. I'm gonna go with my bad answer. My bad answer is that I wanted to make a lot of money. And I was just being practical. I looked at the richest people in the world. Bill Gates at the time was at the top of the list. Right now, you look at all of the richest people in the world, a lot of them studied engineering. And because of that, I was like, okay, if I want to make a lot of money, you know, if it clearly works, study engineering, I'm gonna go study engineering. And money kind of motivated me to like, okay, because school is hard, school is really hard. But because I knew if I studied these courses, I could make a lot of money, it motivated me to keep going. But my good answer, this is my good answer. Honestly, I really wanted more for myself. I really didn't just want to be mediocre or average. Like I wanted to do great things in the world. And I knew in order to do great things, you had to put in a lot of work. And great things don't come to people that don't work hard. So,
My question is, how was it like for you in fifth grade? Because I'm going into fifth grade and I want some advice.
okay,
Oh,
great.
what does it feel like being in fifth grade? Ayo is going to fifth grade just like Ayo, and he needs advice from Ayo to be in fifth grade.
Great question.
Good
Great
question.
question. It's a pleasure to meet you, Aya. Thank you for asking the question. Um, so fifth grade for me, fifth grade, I feel like in fifth grade, I was just I liked having fun. Um, I couldn't sit still. I liked playing sports. Um, but I remember in fifth grade, I started thinking about other things I could be interested in. I started thinking about what if I could start coding. I started thinking about how I could do better in school because I feel like in fifth grade, I always knew I could be good at school, but I think I kind of I didn't push myself as hard as I know I could have. I feel like I didn't focus. I didn't always pay attention to the task at hand. But then while I was in fifth grade, I told myself, okay, let me start doing better in school. Let me start studying harder and meeting people or being friends with people that could also help me and push me to be a better version of myself.
Good. So Ayo, fifth grade is going to be interesting for you. You need to meet new friends. You have to develop more confidence, and you also should start making your goals. Like you heard everything Ayo talked about. I'm going to have this video, this recording properly edited for most of us to go over it again.
I wanted to ask, let's see, um, when you said that your friends didn't really have the same goals that you did in life, so I wanted to know, how did you know which friends had a good goal for life and had a bad goal? Did you observe them or did you ask them?
Wow, that's a powerful question.
That's actually a very good question, Kemi. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Oluwakemi. Sorry. So I think they're my friends, so we have conversations. And while I talk to them, I get to understand like what do they want to do with their lives? What do they see? Um, and a lot of them, some of them, unfortunately, they weren't even thinking about college too much. Like it was an idea, but it really wasn't like a one of the things that motivated them. But because I knew education was so serious, it really didn't make sense for me to be friends with people that didn't take their education seriously because regardless, like their habits are gonna rub off on you. So just asking them, I'm never gonna assume with people, if there's something I want to know about somebody, I'm gonna ask them first. Um, I'm never one to judge a book by its cover. I have a lot of friends with different backgrounds, cultures, ethnicities. Um, but uh, I knew that my goals more so aligned with okay, especially around high school age, middle school age. All my goals are pretty much okay, I want to do better in school. I want to get closer to God. I want to save this amount of money. I want to learn how to do this. And because of those, I knew my goals. I found people that were more interested in had similar goals. And yeah,
First, how many AP classes did you take in high school, and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
great questions. In high school, damn, I'm kinda
How
old.
many AP classes did you take?
High school, I took 8. Yeah, I took 8 AP classes in high school. No, I took 6. I took 6 AP classes in high school, but I also took courses in college for college credit. So I took classes at community college, and I also took classes at University of Texas at Arlington. Um, and that was really beneficial because when I got to college, there was less classes I needed to take. I got classes out the way in high school. And I know it depends on your course, but some of the AP classes that I took, it didn't count for college credits, but all the college courses I took all count for college credits. So like I was able to graduate like a semester early because of that. My degree that I did is actually a 5-year degree, but because of the courses, the credit that I got from AP classes and community college, I was able to graduate in 4.
Oh, that's so smart.
And then
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. In 5 years, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
in 5 years, I'll have my own company. I went back to school for my master's and traveling the world.
So, have you decided where you want? I'm sure since you're going to San Francisco, it's very easy to know where you plan to take your master's, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to Stanford University. I'm also thinking about going to Harvard University, and I'm also thinking about Columbia University in New York.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to follow up with you on that. 5 years, you'll have your company, and trust me, I'll still be your friend. It makes sense to have, billionaires as friends. There's no way you can deny me anymore. Ayo, you know me already. All right. So when you're a billionaire, you'd always remember AFO.
I just wanted to ask because you said you graduated college early, and I wanted to ask, like, why should we try to graduate college early?
Honestly, I did graduate early, but again, that degree was 5 years. Yeah, I wasn't really trying to be there for 5 years. If I could stay there for 4, that's perfectly fine. There is benefits in being in college longer. I would say you can get more internships. And internships are great because they pay you really well, and you can, like, I have friends that are in New York for their internships right now, really living life. I have friends that got internships in other countries in Europe and London, really living life. So there are points to graduating early. One, you take less classes, so that means you're paying less money. Which yeah, college is expensive, so the less classes you can take, the better.
So my question is relating to college. Cause so I want to major in Earth and Space Science when I get to college. So I was wondering, like, what would you recommend? What class would you recommend to take in like? Cause I'm going to my junior year, and I was wondering what class you'd recommend to take for that course.
So if that's what you want to study, I would say obviously you could take any astronomy courses. I don't know if high schools have that, but um, be prepared for math and science. They're just going to be electives that you're going to have to take. So it's important that you have a good foundation in math and science, especially if you want to go into a STEM major. I'm pretty sure y'all know what STEM is, but science, technology, engineering, or math. Astronomy, yeah, that would fall into STEM. So just take math courses that could just help you get accustomed to the math that you'll be taking once you get there.
How was Ayo able to create your own um company and app?
Yeah, that's a good. I was going to ask that too. How did you figure out how to create a company and get people together to work for you to develop an app? That's Josephine's question, because that seems to be like a big deal. That's what adults do.
Yeah, amazing question, Josephine. Thank you for asking. Um, so yeah, when I was starting, I really didn't know what I was doing, but I decided to just get started. And I started looking up online because you can really learn a lot of things online. You can learn anything online. So I just looked up online, how do I get started creating an app? Um, I started reaching out to friends that could help me, friends that were also interested. And once I had some friends that were all interested in creating an app, it didn't really seem hard anymore. It just seemed like we were having fun creating something together. It was really fun, almost artistic a little bit, but really just being okay with failing. Like it's really hard to create an app, but as you fail and things get hard, you learn a lot, and just keep on going and never giving up.
I wanted to ask, you said like early on in school you applied for a scholarship. Like how did you go about it? Like you wanted it like emailing people and stuff. Like what steps did you take like to like make a like presentable email?
Okay, great question. So pretty much, well, first I just looked up on Google scholarships for Black high school students in Texas. Um, all it takes is a Google search. I saw a list of scholarships I could apply to, wrote them down, applied to them one by one. Um, Usually there are links on their website, how they have the requirements, what you need, usually essays, maybe letters of recommendation. Um, and collected those materials myself. Uh, and when I needed help or advice, I would just go to my teacher to help me edit my essays. If I'm ever sending an email to somebody, I'm not sure how it looks or if it's good enough, I'll just go to my teacher and ask. Like, just as simple as that. And just not being afraid. Like the worst they could say is no. And yeah, shoot or shoot.
AY, honestly, this really it's a 1 in a million session. I'm sure my guys are fired up. AY, I'm going to tell you a story today. Guys, I want you all to listen. This is a true story. Before getting to my story, but AY, firstly, I want to congratulate you. I'm super impressed with your achievement, with what you've achieved. Congratulations, right? Remember, AY, when we met, I also talked about myself. I gave you a background of what I do, the 2 scholarships that I have from Stanford, right? But AY, that's the interesting side of my story. I'm going to tell you, a part of my story now that quite a number of people on this call are not even familiar with that story. It connects to where the word spark came from, the Spark and Spark scholars, where it came from. I have successful business in Nigeria doing very well, but I needed to move to US because I want to be close to my boys, right? I'm blessed with 3 amazing boys and they are getting older, and it's important for me to be with them, for them to make the right choices. So it was a question of, is it still living in Nigeria or to come and face raising my kids squarely, which is very important for any father. Getting to US, AY, it was a struggle for me. I was trying to figure out what can I do in US to support my family, right? It was a very big struggle. I'm also in for my PhD, running a PhD program and trying to raise a family or support a family by the side. AY, you won't believe that with my supposed accomplishment back in Nigeria, I became a gig worker. I was doing deliveries. I probably can say to you, AY, I'm one of the best delivery guys you can ever find. Because whatever I do it with all sense of, dignity. Like I'm proud of whatever I do. I'm interested in what a customer will say when I deliver the Uber Eats or I make my Walmart delivery. But out of all the gig works that I was doing, and this is just like about a year now, the one I love the most is Spark by Walmart. So the Spark, which is igniting passion out of people, came from that Spark, came from my gig work. Okay, so there was one time some of my guys in Nigeria, right? Because of course I have quite a number of people working for the companies that I created in Nigeria. And they were complaining about challenges in Nigeria, and they said they were having conversation. I said, if you guys knew what I was doing in US, you probably would understand that it's not as rosy as it sounds, right? Now, the point I'm making is, AY, one of your partners, I met him on the tarmac. I call where I go for my gig work, I call it tarmac, right? Tarmac could be interpreted as where airplane take off and all of that. But tarmac in Nigeria is where you hustle. Do you understand? So I met Derek on the tarmac. And again, I love to ask questions. I love to make friends. And I got talking with Derek. I said, what are you doing? Oh, he said he's preparing for college, and he told me he's a UI and UX designer. I said, oh, really? UI and UX designer? I have friends that are into UI UX because I have people working for me that are UI UX designer in Nigeria. And we got talking. And he mentioned what you guys were developing. Dele, I said, wow, that's interesting. Then he mentioned to me then that you are in California making a pitch about Dele. I said, I would love to connect with Ayo, not even knowing that I'm also going to meet Daddy, and Daddy will bring us together again. Now, the point I'm trying to make, Ayo, is you have an opportunity that, I mean, I'm 45, right? You're 21. You can see what I'm saying. So if my Spark scholars make the right choices, they won't be on the tarmac, right? I came up with the idea of Spark scholars, simply because it is my responsibility that my boys make the right choices. And I don't want it to be about my boys alone. I want every children, particularly children of immigrants. Most of the kids here, their parents are making sacrifice on their behalf. They probably should not even be in US to start with. They probably shouldn't even be doing the work they're doing, but they are doing it because of their children. And if not for anything, my Spark scholars should always remember those that are really making all the sacrifice to make them whatever they are today. And I want them to take this with all sense of seriousness. Guys, if you are listening, Ayo understood, I spoke to Daddy, Daddy also shared with me his story coming from Nigeria, his background, his humble beginning, right? You know, and I'm sure he has had this conversation. You probably forgot to mention that, how that was part of what is driving you. If there's anything that, you want to do in life, you want to be sure that you always make the right choices, particularly because you know the son of whom you are. Everybody on this call should always remember the sons and daughters of who they are. We come from a background of value. We come from a background of fulfillment, a background of respect, right? And we should always remember that in whatever we do. AY, I said I have a task for you, and it's coming from this chest. I call it a false chest. You play Monopoly, don't you?
Yeah, I play it.
So whatever comes out of this, AY, it's your obligation. The good part of it is you're already making 6 figures, okay? So what I'm going to read out of this, listen, it's your obligation. Guys, are you listening to the task I want to give AY?
Yes, sir.
AY, are you aware 93% of youths in Nigeria don't have access to ICT education? Are you aware?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're aware. Now that you're aware, what is expected of you when you get to California, I don't know how long it will take you, is for you to find 10 used computers to empower 10 youths in Nigeria. And I'm going to follow up with you on that. You have to find 10 used computers to empower 10 youths in Nigeria. The good part is you've been to Ibadan a couple of times, right? And I'm sure when you visited, you saw how much computers are needed back in Nigeria, right? So finding computers around United States of America is also part of what I do, right? Because my background and story, the Stanford scholarship that I have, the businesses that I'm running, can only happen because my uncle of blessed memory gave me a fairly used computer that paved way for me in ICT. Thank you so much, Ayo, for your time. It has really been an interesting conversation. We are starting a master class next week on leadership. It's a 1.5 hour master class for 4 straight week. Our facilitator is a world famous Praise Fowowe. You guys should research him ahead of next week's class, 1.5 hour. His name is Praise Fowowe. I'm going to share information about it maybe later today or tomorrow. Praise Fowowe. Master class. 4 weeks master class. The idea is to get us ready for the new year. Remember, Spark scholars are meant to make the right choices, and we have to be successful together. We are competing. Our parents, they've made commitment to us. Guys, your parents, have they fulfilled their June promise to you? If there's anybody that has not gotten their promise from their parents, please reach out to me directly. I'm going to hold them. I'm really not going to take it easy with them. They promised before they signed you up for Spark Scholars. So if, AY, your daddy has not fulfilled his promise to you, did you just raise up your hand? I saw you, AY. Ayo. Daddy has not fulfilled it.
No, he just joined the platform.
Oh, okay, just joined. Don't worry, for July, Daddy will fulfill it. I'm going to post the one for July too. Thank you guys for spending your evening with us. We appreciate you more than you can imagine. AY, I still would like to connect with you. I need to see how we can work with you and some of your network to attach my Spark scholars to mentors, people that will start mentoring them, from now, and beyond until they finally find their footing. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening.